Hey, YouTube, it's Steve from San Francisco. Today is Friday, March 11th, 2022. And this is the second year anniversary when everything started getting shut down because of world events. I can remember that day. I was at work and there was sports on TV, the NBA, the NHL. They all had to shut down the business. They stopped playing and they shut down because of the pandemic. And a lot of things happened on March 11th. Donald Trump was, I remember, on the lawn of the White House, had a meeting with everybody, and he was saying that they're gonna slowly possibly close everything down and see what's going on. I can remember that day, and yeah, it's been a roller coaster ride ever since. They said it was going to be only temporary, only maybe a few weeks. Yeah, a lot of stuff happened before then. I can remember Bill Gates had a meeting, the 2.0, was a convention, October of 2019. They had a meeting in New York preparing for a pandemic. Is it 201? I remember it was in 201. Then it happened 4 months later. And you see what's going on. They shut everything down back then. Things, yeah, I'm gonna go through what happened for the past 2 years, the history, and what's going on today. Yeah, March 11th, they had a meeting. It was on television, and they talked about possibly shutting things down, like I said. It seems weird. 2 days later, Bill Gates resigned his position for his job where he worked. And he wanted to try to, concentrate on what's going on with the world. And 5 days later, they shut everything down. I remember going to the gym on the 16th. That was my last day of working out at the time. Then on St. Patrick's Day, I went back. They shut everything down. Certain stores, gyms, restaurants, everything just shut down except for the essential workers. And it got a little crazy. People were upset. And yeah, I was one of them. Had plans for this summer. Wanted to work out, get in shape. And people got upset. When they closed the gyms down. Ended up falling off the wagon a little bit. Getting Krispy Kreme donuts and beer. Or ended up putting on a few pounds here and there. But look, it's just crazy. And They said 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks to flatten the curve, and they kept extending it. Yeah, look what's going on. Now, it went on for a few months after that. People try to go outside earlier. I heard stories about people getting arrested for just going to the park during the lockdown. There was some videos. People saying you have to stay home. And yeah, it went on 2 months. Then the mask thing came in, I think in mid-April. And people are still wearing them now. But, yeah, it's been... People are still wearing them, and it's 2 years later. Then, okay, I'm going to go backtrack a little bit. Then I went to May. Everybody thought everything was going to open up again, but it didn't. The news, people were upset. Then, Memorial Day that year, things happened. The Floyd thing, then there was protest over that. Things got out of hand. Then, yeah, they had riots and they were everywhere. The cities erupted. People were upset. I can remember seeing it on certain news networks. Then, okay. Then it calmed down. There was no cases they were talking about. For COVID, there was no cases. Then, all of a sudden, they started canceling. They canceled the 4th of July fireworks, but they still had protests, but they didn't have the fireworks. Then you go on to August of that year, and things were still shut down. They tried to open things up in October. It was short-lived. They had the gyms open again for a little while. Certain stores, social distance. Then they had the election, the results of the election. Some people weren't happy. What's going on? Then it was 2021. Biden was in office. Then, yeah, things changed. The supply chain, gas prices, everything's gone up. Then now, people are getting the solution. And new variants came out all through the summer 2021. Then we're heading to now, and the news nowadays, now they claim the next step is Ukraine and Russia And that's happening. And things are still crazy. I try not to watch the news. I try not to, but yeah, everything's just, it's frustrating. They're trying to, let me think, and look what's going on with, Ukraine and Russia. That's on the news now, and less, COVID stuff. And we're not sure if it's over yet. We're not sure what's going to happen. Like I was saying, it seems like it's all by design. Then look at you start seeing, like, you go outside, you see planes with the trails, or that's another topic. Yeah, look, everything now, like the shutdown, and they shut everything down, but everything's opened back up, but there's still a little bit of restrictions in some places. This should have been over. It should have been over. It's been 2 years. 2 years to the day they declared the pandemic. They say viruses die in the sunlight. Like flu viruses go out in the sun, or warm weather kills colds or viruses. It's supposed to. But cases pop up, supposedly. Even though it's summertime. Yeah, and another thing is, the way things are being done. The supply chain, the economy, the gas prices. All right, gas. I seen it. It's almost $6 a gallon, probably heading up to $7. And all right, they want people to get electrical cars, but the average person can't afford an electrical car. Like an average Joe can't afford an electrical car. When is it going to be affordable to own an electrical car? Yeah, every time. All right, 5 years ago, I filled up my tank. It was $21 to fill it up. I filled my car up the other day, and it was $58 to fill up the car. All right? And businesses are not giving raises to cover it. The cost of living. The average person is not going to afford anything. It's going to cost the average person $500 to fill up their car with gas. All right? And car repairs, the rent's going up, food's going up. It seems like we're getting squeezed, like a python, squeezing the middle class and the poor. Yeah. You work 40 hours a week, sometimes more, and you spend it all on food and gas. And you know what? They hire these gas prices, and the supply, they're still out in the ocean, and it's a disaster. It's like this country and everywhere, they're being run by a bunch of Muppets. It's crazy. It all started 2 years ago. It's like a domino effect. One thing goes, and all the dominoes fall. Look at this. All right. It all started. All right. They closed everything down. Things got disturbed. People weren't making money. People are still suffering from it. All right. And you get a lot of these clowns running the show. All right. You got people like, all right, I'll show you. People like this guy. Or maybe people like this. Or this guy. It seems like we're being run by these guys. By a bunch of Muppets. Yeah. Everything, the economy's getting destroyed. Prices are going up, but people's paychecks are staying the same. You're going to see more if this continues, you're going to see more people being homeless. You see it every day. I'm upset. I'm upset about it. People that I talk to are upset. Yeah. We're being run by a bunch of Muppets. It's crazy. Yeah, I watched Richie. He's been right on a few things. Some things that he says, he talked about stuff happening, and he's talked about stuff in 2018 that happened 2 years. He predicts stuff sometimes that his predictions come true. He said something's going to happen in 2020, and he was right, or about 80% of the stuff he says comes true. But yeah. All right. It's crazy. Sometimes it's 2 years later. 2022, it should have been, it's supposed to be a great year, but it doesn't seem it. It doesn't seem it. Yeah, look. First the pandemic, then the next step, is a war. And the Bible talks about wars, rumors of war. Well, we have to wait and see what happens. That's all I got to say. All right? That's all I can think of right now. All right? Steve from San Francisco. Like, share, subscribe, or don't. I am out.